I sure hope that you've caught Silo on Apple. Oh my God, such a great show. It's an adaptation of a little book by Hugh Howey, and it's about a futuristic community that exists in this massive underground vault with 44 floors. For those who didn't catch the first season, I don't know if it's too much of a spoiler, she gets out, and the outside, it ain't Nirvana. Anyway, so we're gonna show a clip.
You, over there, now.
If we were alone, this would be going very differently right now.
I wouldn't have hurt your family.
My son keeps asking if the scary lady is coming back.
Well, how many families do you think ask the same about you?
Do you know what I do?
Rob,
Do you?
Rob! Wait outside with your team. If you had been able to do what you wanted to, you would have killed everyone in the silo.
People can handle the truth.
I wish I shared your optimism.
Here to discuss is the showrunner, Graham Yost, and stars Common, Tim Robbins, and Rebecca Ferguson. Graham, I remember talking to you last year, and you were very specific. You didn't really want to call this a sci-fi drama, but we're talking about this futuristic underground community, so what the hell is it?
I love what Apple came up for, which was Apple TV Plus, not the other part, which is a dystopian thriller. And that's really what it is. That's really what it developed. You know, even from that clip, you get that sense. There's hopefully a lot of tension, a lot of excitement, and we get to work with people like this.
But there's no spaceships, no
spaceships yet. No, never. No.
I wanted to jump to you, Rebecca. You've obviously had this incredible film career. What was it about this script that made you want, yeah, put that film career aside?
Yeah, my career is so incredible compared to others. It's amazing. So I started off doing, sorry. I think it's a mixture of a lot of things for me. It's a script, it's a character, it's what I've done prior to the next role. And then there was a lot of Graham Yost involved for me. We had a lot of conversations back and forth about script and stories, etc. And then I think it was the fact that Graham connected so with me when it comes to storyline and being a part of the process of Silo that made me fall in love with it. But I love this show so guttily. Like, I get very emotional because I'm so invested and I love everyone so much. It's not just a film that I've dipped in or a TV show that I've dipped in and I do a role. Oh, look at that. I didn't know. Should I speak slower? She's so quick, the moderator behind you.
That's so nice. You're the first to give her a shout out. That's so nice.
Absolutely phenomenal. Amazing. Sorry, back to thought process. My point is, this is not just a film that I've created a character and done it and left. It's a show that I am so involved in that I love it beyond anything and everyone.
So it sounds like there was a little bit of a seduction, a talk to get her on board. It was back and forth?
Yes. Morton, Tildum, and I Zoomed with Rebecca, and we can tell it's the famous story of the show now. Which
I wasn't going to, but want to.
Rebecca passed. And we were, really? We thought that went really well. And then we found out that, I think it was Carter, who kept on calling Apple and say, so have you cast that part yet? So apparently the hook was in a little bit that Rebecca was interested. And then we had another Zoom, and it was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. And that was, one of the great days. Because part of it is, I thought it went really well the first time. It's like, well, anyway.
So, Mr. Tim Robbins, when you were in film school, woo! I can't imagine that you were thinking to yourself, gee, I hope that someday I get to play the head of IT for a TV show.
When I was in school, there was no such thing as IT. I am so blessed. I just have to say that. What Graham has assembled with this is so beautiful, as you were saying. It is a family that he's created, and I'm not blowing smoke. This is something that's a concern for me at my age. You know, when you're working on something, you want to give it your all, but you also have come to understand that working 18 hours a day is not a sustainable thing. And what Graham has created here is a very human way to work. We all, you know, our crew in London and our cast and everyone, we worked for a long time. We worked really hard, but we also had 10-hour days. And that.
Really?
And I can't.
It's England. It's England. It's 10-hour days. It's a standing lunch often. Union stuff, and it's like if you want to go overtime, they basically vote whether or not they're going to do it. But you know, directors from the States would come in. It's like, well, I'm used to working 12 hours. Within a week, they're like, oh, this is fantastic. You actually can have a life, but also the work gets done. It gets done. If you know that's the time allowed, you know, it gets done. And yeah, there's a lot to be learned from how they do it over there.
So you wind up really enjoying your work and loving the people you're working with. It's a simple formula.
And you're in England, and you're inside, so you never have to worry about the weather while you're filming. There was no like, Fratter days, right? There's no like going Friday night into Saturday because we're also in a silo the whole time. So it's, you know, 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, basically.
Common, your character is interesting in that he looks very different than everyone else. He's got this very cool outfit on, the leather. He oozes cool. I think they're into it, yeah. Why is that? Why is he different?
I think just because I'm cool. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, that was what, you know, when I was reading the scripts, I was like, first of all, this is some of the best material I ever read. Like just reading, I was just like, oh man, I couldn't wait to finish reading the scripts. And then I started to look at Sims, and like Sims was somebody who was like, he had this like, it could have been just a heavy, but they wrote him where he wasn't just a heavy. He was like someone who was fighting for something he believed in, but he also had some dimensions to him. So I have to say, like, the Sims style, I got to give it up for like Charlotte, who's our costume designer, and just like Graham and Morton. They kind of came up with ideas about what Sims would be, and I just kind of put on the outfit, and it started to breathe. I just did my inner work as much as possible so then it could breathe. But people do ask me, why am I the only one in the silo with a leather jacket, and how is my like head always shaved every day, and I'm like clean cutting, everybody's grimy and stuff. But I mean, like I said, Sims is kind of cool. He got his thing, you know. but it's a blessing to be a part of this, and like, man, I haven't done as much as these great people have, but things that I've done in different aspects of my career and life, and I've never been a part of something that holistically is this wonderful. Like from the material, from the writers to the writer's room to our leader, to the actors I'm working with, to the crew, to like the people, everybody working on it. I've never worked in this much excellence, and it's just like, it's a beautiful thing. And like, I mean, in life, I remember during the pandemic, I was like, I got to set my intentions to working on things that's really quality. And this is one of those things that was not only quality, but it lifted up my spirit, because who want to work around negative energy? Who want to work around people that's doing like, and I got to say, I came in with that American mentality for a second, like, well, we only working 10 hours? And then I was like, oh yeah, we only working 10 hours. And I know what a holiday is now. Like, like London people take holidays, and I love it. So anyway.
And it was a great show to do right after a pandemic where we're all stuck inside, to go do a TV show about people who are all stuck inside, and the cast and crew is all stuck inside. But other than that, it was great.
I also want to add, there's several streaming services. I think I'm just going to put my 2 cents in here. I think Apple's freaking great.
So Rebecca, now that we know what's outside, it's not great. Is Bernard and Sims, are they really that bad of dudes? I mean, aren't they then protecting the folks from out there?
Rebecca would like to answer that question. However, upon the advice of counsel, we're not going to speak about anything that we would know about the characters going forward. Thank you. I will say this, not about the show, but about our experience on the show. People have said, what's the best thing you've heard about the show? And that is, I can't wait for season 2. And that is the coolest thing, and you never know. So the last big VFX shot of Rebecca walking away from her silo, and it's like, did it work? I don't know. Are people going to understand what we're saying? And that people understood, and that was a huge thrill.
So I guess to read into that, we're going to find out more about really what makes them tick in season 2. I feel like that's.
I would say that one of the things about Hugh's books, and again, my thing about the books is buy the books, buy multiple copies, and don't read them until the series is over. Only because we want to have the fun of turning the cards and answering the mysteries. But, it ultimately all comes down to character.
Tim, you were going to say?
Yeah, Tim was going to talk.
I was going to say, what you think you know, you might not know.
Yeah.
Does that pass legal counsel?
That passes counsel.
Okay, all right. Let me go back to the first episode. You did us kind of a dirty, and you killed off 2 major stars, and you didn't know what the hell to expect after that. Why?
David and Rashida gave me a weird look one day, and it was just like, no. One of the ways you can get David Oyelowo and Rashida Jones is it's only 1 episode. And they're like, okay. It turned out it took about a year to film. I mean, it was just, we had so many false starts. But that's the way Hugh started. Hugh wrote a short story about the sheriff and his wife in this thing, and it took off. He self-published it online. It became a thing that led to the books and on. And I thought, you know what, we've got to start this the way he did. Because the story of Holston and Allison has echoes all the way down through the rest of the story that we want to tell. And we got to work with David and Rashida, so that was cool. But yeah, no, it was a risk, but Tim said, Apple's fantastic. And Jamie Ehrlich, who's one of the 2 guys who runs the show, runs the whole thing, he's very committed to let's do it the right way. If that's the way Hugh did it and you feel that's the right way to do it, and we talked about it, he said, let's do it. Also, we knew that they would drop the first 2 episodes together so that you would see that we knew that we wanted to see Juliet in the first episode and then really go into her character hard in the second. We felt people would hopefully watch both episodes together.
You obviously touched on this, that this was not a show on location. You were inside the whole time. How the hell was that? Was that claustrophobic?
No.
No?
Because there's an outside of the studio.
They all lived together for 7 months inside the set.
Rebecca looked at Thomas and goes, that's so stupid. Oh my gosh. Rebecca, so it was delightful then.
No, I'm listening to us and I'm going, our show's amazing because we just love each other and we're so funny. But the show is also really good. Like, it's a really thought-provoking, philosophical psychological aspect to it. The whole location, yeah, being inside, outside, I don't really care. It's a set, I get paid, we do what we do, right? There are no night shoots. That makes me happy. But I'm contained. It's not contained. It's huge space. It's sets that, if you've seen it, the stairs continue. I mean, we have VFX. I'm not a person who says we don't have VFX because we have award-winning VFX people on our show. We have the best, the fucking creme de la creme, and I love them. But the point is, it's a merge. So we have these sets with the stairs that we can run too many times. Should we stop running? Holy shit, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, keep complaining about it. See what happens. Ooh. That was a
That's the way it is.
yeah. And that's when it took a turn at the Deadline Contenders.
But I think for me, the process being inside, we had one day, Rashid, where we weren't really figuring out a scene. And this kind of represents the show. We're on the stairs, a lot is happening, the director's there, we're not really nailing it, it's a feeling, and we kind of go, stop, just stop. This is not feeling right. The location's great, it's looking amazing, we're not feeling it. And we just stopped the shooting for 15 minutes. I can see Graham going, you what? Do you know how much that cost? And we left, and we sat down, we had a cup of tea, and we just talked it through. Because we're not rushing anything. This is the essence of this show. We get to the core of what we're doing and why we're doing it. In the most phenomenal setting in England for 10 hours.
Let's meet back here after season 2. There will be one. Apple TV's Silo, everyone.
Whoa.